columns and rows for the data set. And we also discussed that columns are more important in our case. Rows are called observations and columns are called variables, and we are more interested on variables. It doesn't mean that observations are not important. Both are equally important, but variables are the things that we are going to analyze. This is what we are going to analyze. So okay, now coming to variable types. So briefly I discuss this. So there are at a high level there are only two types. One is categorical and another is continuous. So the way to identify categorical and continuous is more like can you do any arithmetic operations or not. So that's how we can identify easily. There are other ways, but I would prefer this way because it's very easy to understand. Can you do addition between, maybe let's say if animals is the variable name, can you do an addition between dogs and cats? Obviously you cannot. So it's very easy to identify this way than any other way. So that's why I would prefer you to remember always go back to your basics and see, can you do arithmetic operations or not. If you can do, then the variable type is continuous. If you cannot do, then it is categorical. But there are other ways of distinguishing between variables. But before we go there, let's do a small exercise and recheck our understanding. Okay, this is a small exercise on identifying the variables. I think yesterday Vidya identified each of the variable type. I think now it's Subbu's turn. So normally I'll keep on asking questions so that I'll recheck your understanding, so that if there is any misunderstanding, I'll correct it then and there. I hope that is fine for you. So Subbu.
Yes, sir.
So
this is categorical first, gender.
Gender is categorical. Okay.
And the type of accommodation also categorical.
Categorical only because we already mentioned apartment, house, others. These are the three options. Okay, yes. So it is very clear. We cannot add apartment and house, for example. Now, time of clock.
It is continuous.
So this is a little confusing, but can you add 10:30 a.m. with 11:30 p.m.? Can you add these two?
We can add and little bit.
I'm
maybe,
just.
I'm thinking it is continuous. I mean, it can be categorical, but continuous because like when we get our payroll, say if somebody is working hourly, so they count how many hours they have worked.
Yes, but how many hours is not the time of the data, right? Time of the clock. Number of hours is not the time of the clock. Then how would you distinguish this?
Then it's categorical.
So we'll park it there. Unknown maybe.
Okay.
Okay, we'll come back. Then age 1 to 100 years.
Age continuous.
Continuous, right? I think this one is clear. Height in centimeters.
And, this is also continuous.
Continuous. Now number of children.
Number of children, it will come under categorical. Count. This is related to count.
this is a count, but can you add two? Let's say I have 5 children and you have 2 children. Can we add?
Yeah, we can add.
Then we can also say continuous. But number of children could be also limited, right? Maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4 maximum, I think. Hopefully,
Yeah,
in general. So
yeah.
that way it could be categorical also. Somewhat unknown, right? Little
Yes.
bit confusion is there. It's not, I mean, my definition is not working exactly actually. So that's why I kept unknown, so that we'll go and fix it after this actually.
Okay.
Now, years of education. This is clear, I believe. Years of education,
This is continuous.
continuous. Then high school ranking. Ranking could be 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, right?
Yeah.
Can you
This
add?
is a category.
Yeah, but because we cannot add 2 rankings. My rank is 2 and your rank is 3. Can you add? You cannot add.
There is no meaning.
There is no meaning. I mean, you can add. Theoretically, you can, but there is no meaning. So this could be
Yes.
categorical. Income level, high, medium, low.
It is categorical. It is
This
showing
is
high
clearly
category.
categorical. Yeah. Now you can see that there are some places where you cannot easily distinguish based on the arithmetic operations, right? Actually,
Yeah.
strictly speaking, this time of the clock could be also continuous. The reason is 10:30 a.m. Let's say 12:30 a.m. for simplicity. I'm keeping 12:30 a.m. If I cannot definitely add these 2 times, but I can subtract. From 12:30, I can subtract 10:30. I can say 2 hours is the difference. Now my original definition is arithmetic operations can be performed. I did not say which arithmetic operations. I did not say all the arithmetic operations, right? One of them. So this definition means that one of the arithmetic operation is, if one of the arithmetic operation is possible, then this is more than enough, right? Based on this definition.
Yes.
So if I could do a subtraction that is as good as arithmetic operation, so this could be as well as continuous. But the question is how many arithmetic operations you have to try out to identify which category, which type is what. I don't know. I have to try too many things, right? I have to add, I have to subtract, I have to multiply, I have to divide. Then if one of them is meaningful, I can say continuous. But the problem with that is how many I have to try out. So this categorization of continuous and categorical is little bit confusing and not very well defined, right? So that's why we go into further classification. Now this classification, let me write it in this kind of model. Types of variables. Now you have continuous on, or let's say categorical on this side. Continuous. So on categorical, we have 2 more types. That way we can distinguish very easily, comparatively. Okay. The idea is on categorical, I can say nominal, and here it is ordinal, and I can say interval scaled. I'll define what everything is. I just wanted this tree structure. and finally ratio scale. So I try to define now categorical into two more subcategories, and continuous also in two more categories, so that I can probably identify the variables. Okay, we'll see what each one means. Now the first one is nominal. Now what are the what are the features of nominal scale? So here nominal is more like a pure male female kind of variable. What it means is, or even Hindu, Christianity, or if the male, let's say if it is a male, some email or something. Email actually has only two categories, right? Either it is delivered or it is not delivered to the person. Now the thing is, when I say delivered and not delivered, delivered and not delivered are not comparable at all. I don't know which one comes first. I cannot say among male and female who is first. I cannot order among male and female. There is no ordering, implicit ordering. You may have your preferences, but there is no implicit ordering per se. So nominal is more like no comparison possible. And it is a purely categorical variable. And there is no meaningful difference. What does it mean is, let me give you the examples, then I'll describe this. Male or female. Can I have a implicit meaning? Let me zoom it more. Okay. Can I have an implicit meaning for female minus male? I'll never get any meaningful difference actually. There is no meaning of what is, if I do female minus male, there is no real meaning. It's so that's what I mean by female. There is no meaningful difference. And I also mentioned there is no comparison possible. I cannot say if someone asks me, is male greater than female? I would say I don't know. I don't know. So there is no comparison that is possible within these nominal scale attributes or variables. So I can give more examples. For example, the one that I said, if the mail is deliverable, which means it will get delivered to the intended person, or not deliverable. Okay, it doesn't mean that there are only two values for it. It can be any number of values. For example, if you say colors, so red, green, black, let's say. Out of red, green, and black, which one is greater? No one knows. There is no implicit ordering there. No implicit comparison possible. So that's how you define nominal scale. So I think we'll come back to this later. Let me let me complete this entire thing, then we'll come back and identify categorical and continuous variables. So is the nominal clear for everyone? So there is no comparison. It's like very weird if you compare. If you compare is green red greater than red, it's very weird. You'll see that person as weird person. Why would you compare green with red?
I have a question.
Sure.
For
Yes.
deliverable and not deliverable, you mentioned that it does not mean it has only two values, but it can have any number of values. What do you mean by that?
No, what I meant is for nominal, we are not expecting only two values. So male and female, it's only two values. Deliverable, not deliverable, it's only two values. But nominal scale can take any number of values for that particular variable, like red, green, and black.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So then the second one is ordinal. Now, what is ordinal? Let's see. Ordinal is more like comparison is possible. Okay. But again, there is no meaningful difference. This is interesting because you're at first saying that there is a comparison possible, but then saying, oh, sorry, no meaningful difference. At first, you're saying you can compare, but then again, you're immediately saying that there is no difference for no meaning for difference. And this is also categorical. Now let's go back. How to can anyone try to give an example for this based on these features? So I'm saying that comparison is not possible. Sorry, comparison is possible, but difference is not meaningful. Difference between any two variables. Okay, that's fine. Is anyone there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So for example, I already gave this example, income. When income is only high, medium, or low, can you take any difference here? Difference between medium and low, or high and medium? You cannot take. So in this case, you don't know exactly. There is another fourth point. Let me write that point actually. One point I missed. This is a categorical variable as well as values are not equally spaced. Okay, what does it mean? It means that when you take a difference, I mean, when you try to find the, let me give the example and then talk. Income, high, medium, low. So most of the times, how do you define high income, low income, all these things? There will be a number line and you'll have some numbers placed here, 2K, 5K, 10K. Let's say income is less than 2K. Anything, let's say this is 0K. Anything between these 2 points, you'll call it low income. I'm just defining some arbitrary numbers. This could be different according to the context. But in this case, I am just saying income 0K to 2K. I'm calling it as low income. 2K to 5K, I'm calling it as medium income. And this part, I'm calling it as high income. Now, the question is the difference between this medium values and low values, are you expecting it to be equal to difference between high and medium? Is that clear? Are they equally spaced? Actually, this is only 2K difference, and this size, the size of the medium income is 3K, and size of the high income group is 5K. So actually, each value is not equally spaced. Though, when you say just high, medium, low, you will never know this in reality. But for your understanding, I drew this number line. In reality, you'll never know the number line, right? When you say medium income, you don't know what is the range. Is that clear? What is the values are equally spaced?
Yes, Sandeep. I have a question here.
Yeah.
Suppose 0 in your example 0K and 2K and 5K, instead of 10K, suppose it is 8K.
Yes. So your
okay.
question, see, there can be in ordinal values could be equally spaced, but in general values are not equally spaced.
Yeah, in general. Okay.
In general, you may have a situation where this difference is same as this difference, but how many cases you will have like that? It's not a mandatory thing. That's okay. It's not mandatory that it should be equal. It could be arbitrarily equal. Okay. So, Vijay, are you clear? Yeah.
Yeah, is there another example you can give us for ordinal?
Yeah, let me think.
Pardon, Sandeep?
I'm just thinking. Vijay is asking some other example. Give me a second, actually. Let's say your examination results, your CGPA or GPA, whatever. Okay, in your GPA, I can say maybe if GPA is a scale of 10, which is what is in India. I'm not sure about the US GPA. I think it is 4, I think. But let me give the Indian example, but you can translate. So GPA is between 0 to 10. And if your GPA is below, let's say, GPA is below 4, you're a failure. If your GPA is between 4 and 6, probably you're pass. And if it is, let's say, 6 to 8, it's more like, what should I call? It's a long time since I passed out. I don't remember. 6 to 8, you can call it as, anyway, 8 to 10 is distinction. I don't know what to call this. Some X you can call. I don't remember that. Sorry?
You can give A and A plus.
Yeah, this is more like, maybe I can give it as A. Yeah. In this case also, you can see these are ordered. right? So there is an ordering, implicit ordering. Failure is less than pass, less than A, less than A plus, right? If you want me to write it in this kind of equation, failure is always less than pass, and that is less than, let's say, A, and that is also less than A plus. Now you have implicit ordering, but is each value having the same difference? No. Failure is having 4 points in the GPA. Pass is having only 2. This is also having 2. Maybe I can make it as 3, maybe. It depends, right? It depends on how you define. I can say 9 to 10 is A plus and 6 to 9 is A. I can do any kind of magic here. And the differences are not exactly equal. Is that clear, Vidya?
Yeah. And also you mentioned that we will never know how they are spaced. Like income is just high, medium, and low.
Sometimes.
So,
Sometimes, yes. In income, probably no.
okay.
If you are saying, let's say, to some of your friends, if you are saying my income is very low, it may not be low according to your industry standard. It may be only low according to your standard, right?
Yeah.
But if government is saying, probably it is more standardized. It depends. It depends on how you look at low income, right?
Yeah.
Maybe for let's say Mark Zuckerberg, 10K is also very low income, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it will look like. It's all based on how you define these things. You can define in any arbitrary way.
Okay. So basically, you have given us different examples like gender, time of clock, and all that.
Right.
Should we know if they're equally spaced or not? Only that's when we can know whether it's ordinal or nominal.
Yes. For example, in this case, high school ranking, first rank and second rank, are they equally spaced? Actually, no. For example, for the first ranker in the school probably might have got a GPA of 9. The second ranker could have got a GPA of 6. The
Yeah.
difference is large, but still there is a first ranking and second ranking, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
In this case, you'll never know the spaces. I mean, how the this kind of number line you'll never know, right? First rank, second rank. Based on that, can you know the GPA? You'll never know. Hope this clears what is this equal spacing and all.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, so are you clear now? This ordinal.
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll go to interval scale. I think these two are categorical, right? Nominal, ordinal. They are two categorical variables. Now we are going into continuous variables. Now let's see how those things go into. Interval scale. Now this is where you first see that the difference is also meaningful. Okay, let me show you what is. First thing is ranking is possible. Second thing is difference between two interval scale interval scaled values is meaningful. Okay, then the more interesting part is only subtraction is meaningful. First, I am saying that difference is meaningful. The second thing is only difference is meaningful. Only difference is meaningful. We'll see how. And there is a more interesting aspect, and this is the most important point of all of this variable types. And this is called arbitrary zero. Sorry. And this is a little bit tougher to understand if you have lesser scientific knowledge, but I'll try to explain this. Okay. Did I miss? Values are equally spaced. Okay. So let's see an example. I can give an example of time again. So time, now let's understand that arbitrary zero concept first, then we'll look at the other things. So in time 0 am, does it mean that time doesn't exist at that time? Or there is some time but it is represented as 0?
There is sometime represented as 0.
There is some time we arbitrarily assign that 0. It's not actually 0. 0 time doesn't mean that there is no time. There is some time, but we assigned 0 to that time, right? Which is nothing but actually the clock is 0. It's not 0 am, right? This means that 12 am. If you keep am here, it would be confusing. Similarly, let's say elevation of a place. Generally, elevations are always counted based on the sea level, right? If I say your elevation is 0, does it mean that there is no height at all? It means that the height is 0 when you compare it with your sea level. It doesn't mean that there is no height at all, right? One second, I'm sorry. Okay. And similarly, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, it doesn't mean that there is no temperature at all. Actually, if you convert Fahrenheit to Celsius, let's say I ask for 0 degrees Fahrenheit. 0 degrees is nothing but minus 17 degrees in Celsius. So what it means is in another scale, that 0 will get vanished. In another scale, the 0 gets vanished and I'm getting 17 degrees centigrade. So if I am getting a non-zero number, once I convert my temperature or any of the value into any other scale, once I convert the scale, if I don't get the 0, it means that it is an arbitrary 0. Vidya and Subbu, are you clear on arbitrary 0?
So basically, say any 0 Fahrenheit or 0 time, if you convert it into any other scale,
yes,
and if the answer is not 0, then it's arbitrarily 0.
Yes, we are just assigning it for the name, for the convention.
Okay.
Okay, it's not really 0. For example, there could be really zeros. For example, if age is equal to 0, you cannot convert in, you can, let's say 0 years, which it is perfectly 0. It's not even 0.1 or something. It's exactly 0, let's say. If you convert this years into days, it will become 0 days. You can convert into months, 0 months. In any scale, this will be 0. So this age is not a arbitrary 0 here. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, this is an important point. So I was just trying to explain it more. So now values are equally spaced. Let's see. Is 0 degrees Fahrenheit and 1 degree Fahrenheit and 2 degree Fahrenheit, are they equally spaced? They are. Each one is having 1 degree of Fahrenheit difference. 1 degree. Okay. So the values are equally spaced in this case, even for elevation. 0, 1, 2. If you ask me the difference between the heights of 0, 1, let's say, if I tell this is 0, let's say centimeters, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters. What is the difference? All are equally spaced. Similarly with time. Okay. And ranking is possible. Again, 0 elevation is lesser than 1 centimeter elevation, and 2 centimeter elevation is greater than 1 centimeter elevation. All those things are possible. Okay, and what else? I think I covered everything. And only difference is meaningful here, because if I have let's say 2 times 12 a.m. and 12:30 a.m., like the example that I gave you in the Excel sheet, I cannot add actually, but I can do a difference, and the difference is meaningful. If I do a difference between 12 a.m. and 12:30 a.m., I get 30 minutes as my difference. So the difference is meaningful in this case. Okay, are you clear on the interval scale?
Yes, Sandeep.
Okay, Vijay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And finally, it is ratio scale. Okay, now what is ratio scale? Again, ranking is possible. Okay, but here you'll have an absolute 0. It is not an arbitrary 0. You convert it into any scale, you'll still get a 0. And all arithmetic operations possible. You can do a subtraction, you can do addition, everything is possible. Now for this, I already gave you the example of age. You can also take a height example. If height is 0, probably that object did not exist. If height is 0 for some object, that object doesn't exist, right? There is no height means. Similarly, if age is 0, it means that that person is not born. 0 means that absence of that element in this ratio scaled variable. Is it clear, Vijay and Subbu?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll try to solve this problem again. Now what is gender? We'll just describe about either it is ratio scaled or interval scaled or nominal or ordinal, only within these 4 categories. Okay. Now what is gender? Now anyone can answer. I'm not picking names.
Nominal.
Yes, nominal. What about type of accommodation?
Ordinal.
But ordinal needs ranking, right?
Yes.
There is a comparison. Ranking is possible. Is ranking there? Is apartment greater than house greater than others? Is it the case, or it could be anything?
No. So then, so my guess is it's nominal only. This is also
Nominal, yes. And time of clock.
And it's continuous. Is it interval scale?
Yes, interval scale. Because you can do a difference, but you cannot do a addition, right? You cannot add 2 times, but you can do a difference. Just now I described that. Interval scale. Difference is possible, and time is an example. Already I gave the example. Okay, it is interval scale. And what about age?
Ratio.
Age is ratio, yes. Because there is a arbitrary 0. Age equal to 0 means that object did not exist. Right? I mean, that person did not exist.
Yeah.
Okay, now what about height?
ratio scale.
Ratio scale. Number of children. Zero, 1, 2, 3. Is 0 arbitrary or not arbitrary?
Not arbitrary.
In fact, there is no scale of measurement in number of children, right? You have only count. 0, you cannot convert it into any other scale. So this is also ratio scale because there is no arbitrary 0. Number of children 0 means that there are no children. Similarly, years of education. Again, if 0 is, again, most of the times, in continuous, always think about, is there an arbitrary 0 or no? Years of education is clearly continuous. But is there a clear distinction between arbitrary 0 or not? There is.
Yeah.
This is not arbitrary 0, right? Years of education 0 means I don't have any education. I didn't go through any formal education. So again, it is ratio. High school ranking. This is interesting because ranking 1, 2, 3 might mean that it might be continuous, right?
Yeah.
But there is no arbitrary 0, which means that this is not a continuous variable at all.
Is it ordinal?
Yes, this is ordinal. It is ordinal because, let me go back. Ordinal because values are not equally spaced. First rank, second rank, third rank, but the difference that they produced, whatever difference that made first rank and second rank, you don't know. So that's why the difference is not equally spaced, but comparison is possible. In this case, exactly comparison is possible. That's what I can see here, right? First rank, second rank, I can compare. But still they are not equally spaced, so ordinal. And finally, income level. This should be very clear now. So is it nominal?
That's ordinal.
It is ordinal.
Ordinal.
Ordinal. Because it's not nominal because there is no ranking for nominal. Nominal, there is no ranking. No comparison means no ranking. For ordinal, there is a comparison possible, low, medium, high. I can order them. But still, values are not equally spaced. I don't know what is the difference between medium and high income group. I don't know. So that's how these things go into. Now we'll see back, check back whatever is unknown. We got confused and we don't know what is the value, right? Earlier. So, but we will check all of them actually. Nominal is anyway categorical. So this is correct. Nominal, again, it is categorical. Interval scaled, what is the type?
Continuous.
Continuous. So Vijay, you are right. Your intuition is right, but I just gave you some more theory about this. And ratio scaled, continuous. Right? All of these are continuous. And number of children, again, we had some debate and we thought, okay, we'll keep it as an unknown. But since it is a ratio scale, it definitely means that it is continuous. Okay. Now again, ratio is continuous. Ordinal is categorical and ordinal again is categorical. So what we learned today is more like identifying the variables, because over the period of time you'll see a lot of variables and each variable you have to identify whether it is continuous or categorical. Actually, the theory that the background theory in data science on continuous versus categorical is completely different. Unless you identify whether it is a categorical variable or continuous variable, which is the first step in identifying any variable, you'll not be able to solve your problems. Okay, so that's why we started with this, and we realized that directly identifying categorical or continuous is kind of a little bit tricky sometimes. Sometimes it is okay, but sometimes it is tricky. So that's why we subcategorize things. We categorize things as nominal, ordinal, interval scaled, and ratio scaled. Whenever you identify each variable into one of these buckets, then you can easily identify whether it is categorical or continuous. So in this case, nominal and ordinal are always categorical. Interval scaled and ratio scaled are always continuous. So if you remember this part, the rest of everything is once you identify the variable, the rest of things are put in place. Actually, this is the first step in doing any data science project. First, you identify the variables, then you define what kind of models you can apply on continuous data or categorical data. But for that to do, for you to do those things, the first step is always identifying what type of variables are you having at hand. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So we are done with the identification process. So today I wanted to start another topic called percentiles. So we still have half an hour. Do you want a 5-minute break?
Oh, fine, Sandeep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll meet back at 7:30. Is that fine? 4 minutes actually. It is, or 7:32 maybe. We'll meet at 7:32.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Is everyone back? Vidya?
Yes, I'm back.
Subbu, are
Yes,
you back?
Sandeep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start another topic, and the topic is called percentiles. So normally I'll explain all the topics assuming that you don't know anything. That way, I'll not miss out anything. So even percentiles, I assume that you don't know anything. If you know something, that is also well and good, but that is my part of assumption. So how percentiles work? Okay, the importance of percentiles and all those things, I'll show it later. Right now, we are only concentrating our efforts on what is percentile and how it works. I'll show you how it is useful in data science in the coming classes. Not today, but this is very useful, definitely, believe me. So, what is a percentile? Anyone, any ideas? What is a percentile?
Suppose in mathematics, like generally we'll take remainder after divide. Suppose a percentile will be what we call it as after dividing a with b. What is the remainder we have that we call?
No, you're talking about percentage. There is a percentage versus percentile. You're saying a by b into 100 will become percentage. It's not percentile, right? So, okay, that's fine. It's okay to have wrong understanding, but always you have to go back and correct it. So that's why I asked this question, if you have a wrong understanding or not. So I'll just mention what it is. So percentile is nothing but percentile is a relative ranking between the elements. I'll explain what it is, but I'll show it with an example. So normally, this is how I'll start. I'll start with a small example, then come back to some definition and see if that definition fits into this example. That way you'll remember what happened. Okay. Now the example is, let me write some numbers. Let's say 40, 50, 15, 35, and let's say 20. Okay. We have 5 numbers, and we wanted, let's say, the question is about what is let's say 5th percentile. Okay, if this is the question and I want to get the 5th percentile in this list of values, so I have a list of steps to follow. So if I follow those steps, always I'll get a percentile. So easy, it should be easy now. I'll just give you a list of steps. Just follow all those steps, you'll get the percentile. Let me write those. First thing is order the data in increasing order. Okay, that is the first step. Second step is calculate n equal to p by 100 into n minus 1. Just remember this formula. Okay. And where, because I did not define the variables inside, capital N is number of elements and P is percentile value and small n, which is this side, this one, is the index number and the index starts from 0. I'll tell you what it means in a minute. Okay, just calculate this index number. And the third step is round the value n. Just rounding the value means that, let's say the n value is 2.7. When you round any value, the nearest integer will come out. If you round 2.7, you should get 3. If you round off 2. Let's say 3, you should get 2. And if you round 2.5, for example, you should get, if it is exactly at the half, then you take the upper value, which is the 3. Is that clear? How to round? Then the final step is the nth index value is the required percentile. Now let's solve the problem, then we'll get to see how these steps work together. Now in the example I gave, let me write the example again. It is 40, 50, 15. And 35 and 20. Okay, now the first step, let's go through the steps. Order the data in increasing order, which means that I have to sort this data, right? So after ordering, after the first step, the values will be, the first value will be 15, 20, 35, 40, 50. These are the list of values after ordering, right? Now, the second step is calculate this n, where p is the percentile value and we are supposed to calculate 5th percentile. So p will be 5 here and n is 5 elements. Okay. Second, n equal to p by 100 into capital N. What is p here? 5. 5 by 100 into, sorry, it is n minus 1. 5 by 100 into n minus 1, which is 4, which is exactly 0.20. Okay. And the third step is round the n. So round off 0.20. How much it will become? 0. Now, the fourth step is the nth index value is the required percentile value. So, what is the 0th value? I mentioned here that it is 0 index, starts from 0, which means you should count this as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we are getting is 15. So 0th index contains 15. So now what I am doing here is I calculated the 5th percentile value and I am getting 15. So now what does it mean? It means that 5% of the, let's say this is a list of student marks. So first person is having 40, second person is having 50. Likewise, you have 5 student marks. So the interpretation will be like this: 5% of the students achieved marks of at least 15. 15 is the marks. Is this clear? Whatever I did, Vidya and Subbu?
Yes.
So what we got is finally a percentile value, and that percentile value shows that how much percent of the given data is having at least that value. Okay, are you clear, both of you?
Yes.
Any questions?
Yes, Sandeep,
Fine, right? So similarly,
can you repeat fourth step? 0th index 15. Can you repeat that one?
So 0th index after you sort the data, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so the indexes start with 0.
Okay.
Okay. So what you got finally, this is n value, right? This n
Yeah.
equal to this one. After you rounded, what you got is a value of n. What did I mention about n? N is the index number that starts from 0.
Okay.
Index number of what? Index number of the sorted array.
Sorted array.
Okay. You got this array, then you sorted this array. Out of this sorted array, 0th index will correspond to the 5th percentile.
Okay.
Okay, you started with 5th percentile, right?
Yeah.
Is that clear now?
Okay. So first we have to consider percentile, and from there we have to fetch index.
Yes. From index, you get the number, corresponding number.
Number. Okay. So for this one, input is like percentile.
Input is percentile as well as your array.
Array. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's try to calculate, let's say 50th percentile, or let's go to 50th percentile later. We'll go to 10th percentile. Okay. We'll try to solve. Okay, 20th percentile. 20th percentile. Can you solve, one of you or both of you? Maybe you both can solve. The array is same. This value is 20th percentile instead of 10th. Are you there?
Round off is coming 1.
Round off is coming 1. So,
One index it is 20. So,
hmm,
20% of the students achieved marks at least 20 in that
yes,
case.
that is correct. Are you getting that, Vijay?
Yes.
Okay. So same way, n equal to, I'm doing it quickly without doing all the steps, into capital N minus 1. And my p-value is 20, right? 20 by 100 into 4. N is 5. 5 minus 1, which means it is into 4.
Okay.
Okay. Which is coming around 0.8.
Yes.
Now rounding off this n will give me 1 because that is the nearest integer.
Yes.
So first index is having 20 after the sorting. You should always remember that the index that you are going to take is only from the sorted index. Otherwise your answer will be wrong. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So the answer here is percentile, 20th percentile equal to 20, which means 20% of the students are having marks at least 20. That's how you can do this. Okay, that is the interpretation part. You should always remember the interpretation part because the mathematics is only half of the solution, right? Unless you do the entire mathematics as well as the interpretation, only then you'll be called as a data scientist. If you don't do the interpretation, then it's not proper. Is that clear?
Yes, Sandeep.
One more problem and we'll close the session. Subbu, are you having any question?
No, nothing. Continue.
50th percentile. Can you solve this again? Maybe Vijay, this time you should solve it. N minus 1. Vijay, can you solve this?
Yeah, so I'll get n as 2. Hence, the index value is 35.
Index value is 35. Let me go back. Yeah, index value is 35. You're right.
So 35% of the students are having
No. 50% of the students.
Sorry, 50% of the students are having marks of at least 35.
Yes, you're right. Now, only one observation I wanted you to make is 50th percentile is always the median value. In your primary school or somewhere, you might have studied mean, median, mode, right?
Right. Yeah.
So median is always the middle value after you get sorted. You sort the values, right? So 50th percentile will always be at the middle. Okay. So 50th percentile is nothing but the median value. So this one observation you should make. So this is nothing but median. Is that clear?
Yes, Sandeep.
Okay, good. If you have any questions, just stop by and ask me. You should always stop me and ask. Otherwise, I would not know. Now, this is about the percentiles, but percentiles could be extended in more generic way. So what we did here is we are dividing our percentile value by 100, right? It means that we are dividing your entire data into 100 parts, and we are asking at what part we our data lies. So between 0 and 5 percentile, how much of the data lies? Between 0 and 50 percentile, how much data lies? This is what we are asking till now using percentiles, which means we are dividing our data into 100 parts. That's why we are dividing by 100. Now, what if I divide by 4? What if I divide by 10? I could divide by something else, right? Maybe the formula could be p by 4 into n minus 1. Or the formula could be p by 10 into n minus 1. Because I could divide my data into 4 parts. I could divide my data into 10 parts and then talk about that particular value. So this is also possible in mathematics, and these are called quartiles. Okay. So what is a quartile? So if you divide data into 100 parts, we already know this, and it is called percentile, right? It's called percentile. Now what if I divide the data into 4 parts, and this is called quartile. Okay. Now if you do the division of data, dividing data into, let's say, 10 parts, it's called a decile. Similarly, divide your data into n parts, where n could be anything, and this is called quantiles. Now how to do this? So the formula here is n equal to p by k into n minus 1, where k is nothing but number of parts to divide. Okay, is this clear?
Yes.
Yes,
So let's solve one more problem on quartile and then close this session today. First quartile of, by the way, how many quartiles you'll have? Quartile is how many parts? 4 parts, right?
yes.
Quartile is
4
only 4 parts. Now you cannot ask for 5th part in the quartile, right? What is the 5th quartile in this data? You cannot ask. You can ask only first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, fourth quartile. 5th quartile is out of question. Similarly, for percentiles also, you cannot ask for 101th percentile. That is impossible. Okay, which means here p should be less than or equal to k in this case, right? If p is greater than k, then it is as good as asking for 5th quartile or 101th percentile. So you should always remember that p is always less than or equal to k. Do not get confused if P is given greater than K. That is a wrong question itself. If someone asks like that. So in the example, whatever I gave you, can we calculate first quartile? Okay.
Yeah.
First quartile of this data. This data you can take. How much will be the first quartile?
20.
Okay. Let me calculate. I didn't calculate. 1 by 4 into 5 minus 1, right? Which is 4. Which is 1. Yeah, 20. You're right. Actually, if you take even 25th percentile, that should also give the same answer. Can you try that also?
Yes.
25th percentile. It is nothing but 25 by 100 into
4.
5 minus 1, which is 4. This is cancelling 4 times, and these two are cancelled, which means it is 1. Vijay, are you able to follow?
Yes.
So 25th percentile and first quartile are same. I'll give you more. Just wait. I think I should. Vijay, are you comfortable with mathematics or you're not?
Yeah, I understand all of this.
Okay. No, in future you'll see more mathematics. This is a very basic mathematics, but you'll see a lot of mathematics in future.
Okay.
That's why I'm just confirming. Are you having mathematical background? Subbu, I know for sure he's a mathematical guy.
I mean, my background is finance, so I took classes up to calculus and more, and I took the statistics classes too. So I'm a little bit familiar with all of these things.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's good. Because Subbu is also mathematical, so I'm just gearing up to see if, in case both of you are mathematical, then I can teach some of these mathematics. If you are not, then I will just teach the Python or programmatic part of the things. So it depends on how your mathematical background. Okay. So the first quartile. So the n is 1 by 4 into n minus 1, which is 5 minus 1, which is 1. So the first quartile is nothing but 20.
20. Yeah.
Now there is a relation between quartiles and percentiles. The relation is like this. First quartile is nothing but 25th percentile. Second quartile is 50th percentile. Third quartile is, you can guess now, it is 75th percentile. And fourth quartile is 100th percentile. And now second quartile is also called median, right? 50th percentile is nothing but median. So second quartile is also median. Okay. And 100th quartile, 100th percentile or fourth quartile is nothing but maximum value. Okay. That's how it looks like. Is that clear or any confusions? Still no.
Clear.
Fine, sir.
Okay. So I think today we can close the class. I think we are already 2 minutes late. Normally I'll try to close by time, but sometimes you should cooperate with me, because if you are in the middle of the class, I mean, in the middle of any topic, if I close at the time, it will be very difficult for me again to recap things. But I'll try to make sure as much as possible that I'll close on time. Is that clear?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay. Generally, I'll follow times. I'll start exactly on time and try to stop at time. Even you saw my break, right? If I say 7:32, I'll be on time. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
try to make. I'll try to be on time as much as possible. So I hope you will also follow the times. Today, I'm sorry because I'm on the wrong meeting ID. I was thinking you're not joining.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, any other questions before I close for today?
No questions for now.
Okay, and I sent you my curriculum. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got the syllabus.
Yeah, I think Subbu also might have got. So yeah, one more thing. I think can you post me your mobile number or something so that I can WhatsApp? Are you on WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay, can you post me because things like today, today I joined on a wrong one. You could have messaged me if you have my number. Okay, thanks. Okay, so that's all for today. We'll catch up tomorrow then at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, Subbu as well.
Bye, Sandeep. Bye. Yeah.
Bye.